I'm the first one to do that. I bet you never knew that. Back like a tailbone. Who you got the tail on? If it ain't about me, about whole D, about face. If you ain't on higher, learn it. The soda in the pot and the fire, burn it.
This shit is so dope. You might wanna be my guest. This shit is so dope. You might wanna be my.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be reviewing Redacted today. I'm a little late on this review. Had a lot of things to do and a lot of things to recover from last week. And this game is one of them, okay? This game is a fast-paced, post-apocalyptic shooter survival game that's been that's been developed by Striking Distance Studios and has been published by Crafter. In Redacted, you play as an agent who watches Black Eye in prison until a viral outbreak happens and begins to spiral in chaos. As one of the guards, fight through monsters, elites, bosses, and even prisoners to escape the penitentiary alive.
If you wanted my attention, you've got it.
This game is freaking addicting. This game is so freaking fun. I wasn't even expecting this game to be this freaking, I didn't expect this game to be like this. Who the hell played this game and was expecting this game to be this fucking good? I sure the hell haven't. Especially after Crafter's last project, the Callisto Protocol. Whenever I geek out, I stutter. I have to focus my mind and take baby steps when it comes to my thought pattern so I can word my wording correctly. Give me a second. Okay, I'm gorgeous now. Back to the review. Ever since Crafton's last project, the Callisto Protocol, people had a lot of negative things to say about this game. And me, overall, I played Callisto Protocol because it took a while for it to arrive at my house, and I played it when they fixed everything. Well, for the most part. But it seemed like they have listened to the feedback of that game and put a lot of enhancements on Redacted, but not only that, but gave us more ideas of what they came across with to make this game even more enjoyable and keep going backwards and forward of the replayability of this project. Now, is this game perfect? We're going to get right into it. But I will say this, though, and this is a very big stretch, especially from all the games I have played, witnessed, beat, and reviewed this year. Redacted is one of the most easiest games to win an award of best games of 2024. Not game of the year, but I know it's going to win something because just how fun this game is. And I have to give Crafton and Striking Distance Studios that much. The game picks up at a very fast pace, and by playing this game, it does have some familiarizations and some certain gestures for you to pick up on from playing the Callisto Protocol. Now, do you need to play the Callisto Protocol before playing this one? Yes and no. Yes, so you can, get more further detail and further understand the story, especially the whole viral outbreak itself and where these monsters are coming from for you to apprehend. And no, if you want to just enjoy a game for it, for its experience. And by Black Eye in prison being ran by these monsters, these infected creatures, this is where you come in. You play as one of the guards that witnessed this shit, and you notice that there are some prisoners that's trying to escape the whole entire penitentiary, so you have to stop them in their tracks because this is a race against time, or a race against survival, and above all, a race against endurance because these waves are not going to be fucking easy. Trying to come across these enemies and defeat them, and you trying to come across these prisoners and try to kill them so you can make it to the escape pod alive before they do, is pretty fucking challenging. Thankfully, we got the warden to monitor us and tell us how to do certain things. And that's what I like about this game too, because this game kind of breaks the fourth wall when it comes to behaviors of certain characters' interactions in this project. And what I mean by that is sometimes the warden will give you some educational advice of what to do, how to get there, and above all, what type of advice you need when it comes to getting pushed forward into the whole game itself. And sometimes we talk shit about you too. And sometimes you need that shit, especially when it comes to you being off guard, when it comes to these enemies overcoming you and these prisoners making the better of you, because these enemies and these prisoners will try to taunt you a lot. Even the warden does that too. And that's what I kind of like about the game, is the fact that there's so much context and commentary when it comes to these characters interacting with each other, especially the prisoners, when they talk about having certain downtime when it comes to them getting out of here. There was one time that one of the prisoners, his name is Zach, he's like a gamer that you got to take down, and he said he'd rather play 80s instead than play this. And there's been a lot of comparisons to Hades of this game. I think my biggest fourth wall speech was when the warden was doing comparisons when it comes to music, saying that he's more of a Kendrick fan than Drizzy. It was like a tongue-in-cheek moment, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? I like this warden because I feel the same way. I've always felt the same way. Now we get introduced to the gameplay itself, the combat, the fast-pacing action, the overhead shooter. This game is a breathtaking experience when it comes to you shooting your way through these waves of enemies. You got so many varieties of enemies trying to kill you. You have enemies that's like zombies that run up to you when you get too close. You have enemies that will explode at impact. You have enemies that will shoot projectiles. You even have robots and mechanical beings that will do the exact same. And they have certain batches of enemies that have different varieties of sets for you to be in an unpredictable state of survivability, which comes to the point where this game is so fucking difficult. This game is hard. And I want no one to say that it is easy. If anyone say this game is fucking easy, bring them here. Bring them here. And before they do that, they have to show me proof of everything that they fucking did in this game. Because this game is a challenging, hellish endurance test. And it's not really a bad thing. Because by me getting angry at games a lot and easily influenced when it comes to me just playing a game, dying so many times and just putting the controller down and just stop playing for a little while, I never done that on Redacted. And the reason why I'm saying that is because even though the enemies is tough, the progression cycle is a little bit more untackled when it comes to being fair, when it comes to the currency of the game. And I'm going to get right there in a second. But I kept playing because it's in a fair note of you just learning your mistakes. Each time I died, I noticed that I was being too careless. Each time I died, I noticed that I wasn't understanding the move pattern. Each time I died, I realized that I made like a little small mistake and it will not fucking happen again. And each time I went across these obstacles, I kept going forward and forward and forward until I eventually beat the game itself. But I will say this though, each time you beat the game, that doesn't mean that the game is over. There's ways for you to level up your stats. Not your character per se, but you can have certain different varieties of armor to choose from to boost up your probability so you can stand a chance of these waves of enemies and go against these prisoners, because these prisoners will give you a lot of shit. And just fighting these prisoners won't be enough. These prisoners will try to slow you down when they use certain perks to add a certain hazard in these waves. Like some enemies will try to attack you and the prisoner will shoot bombs all over the fucking area. There'll be a time bomb that you have to defuse if you can find it. There'll be even some hazardous toxic gases in the area that you're gonna have to try to find and take out too before you end up taking down the waves. There's so much that the enemies can do, and there's so much that the prisoners can do before you apprehend them face to face. And they actually have you do the exact same thing. Not in the way of the same elements, but at the same time, you can slow the enemies down and you can inflict damage. And don't worry, they made it fair so you can go through the same method by inflicting as much damage to them as possible too. Like you have ways for you to slow the enemies down if they are too far from you, or you can inflict damage as much as possible so when you do interact with these enemies, and if you want to kill them face to face, it can be easier. And I thought that was cool. I thought that was a pretty good maneuvering gesture for you to be more fluid into the game instead of just shooting your way into the top of the barrel. By you upgrading your character, you can upgrade your guns, you can upgrade your melee weapons, and at the same time, you can have like a certain build perk where you can add certain things into your inventory so you can be more stronger, or you can increase your chances of you finding more health, finding more varieties of epic or rarities of buffs that you come across in this progression of going through these waves of enemies. They have so much stuff and so much possibilities for you to complete this game. And I love that. And that's actually what kept me going. Each time I like played it, each time I beat it, each time I died, I've gotten frustrated, I gotten pissed, but not to the point where I was like, you know what, I gotta stop fucking playing this. This game is a waste of fucking time. I kept going. I kept going from start to finish. And honestly, that's literally everything I have to say about this game in a great note. Now, does that mean that this game is perfect? Not quite. There's a couple of problems with this game that is preventing you from giving it that A+ legendary rating. Like playing online with your friends so y'all can both go through that good hellish experience together. And then this game has so many glitches, so many bugs, and so many game crashes to the point where when I pre-ordered this game, it made me getting the early access pretty meaningless. And this game updated twice, but it's like each time the game updated, I was going through even more bugs and more crashes and more glitches to the point where that was literally what was frustrating me the most, was the fact that I was going through these glitches and these complications right when I was getting to the end game of this project. And we got to talk about the difficulty on here. The game is fairly hard, but at the same time, it's enjoyable. But I feel like this game is lacking the challenge to have a maneuver choice to appeal to challenging players or players that just want to enjoy the experience. And what I mean by that is you do have an option to where you complete the game and you can come across certain ways for you to make the next run more difficult. You can add more difficulties of the switches of how you want your run to be. Like if you want the enemies to attack you and do more damage, or you want the prisoners to put more traps on the floors for you, you can do that here. And that's by choice. I tried a couple of runs like that and it was fun. You get more rewards as you go on. And I didn't have no problem with that at all. That's just in case if people want to boost up the complications of this game because they're thinking that this game is beginning to get too easy. But what I don't like is that they didn't go that far narrative by giving us a choice when it comes to the in-game ending or just the in-game run. What I mean by that is there's like a secret way for you to progress further into the game. And for you to progress further into the game, they tell you that if you collect everything and you want to go even further, this is when you are about to go to the escape shuttle. That if you go to this other room, if you have everything, if you die, you lose everything that you progress. I have spent 30 hours playing this game. And I thought that by them saying that, I would just lose everything in that run. I tried doing that. And I even streamed it. And I was going to stream it doing that run because I really felt confident. I really felt like, okay, I could do this. But the game crashed. The game crashed while I was streaming. And I'll put the link in the description box so you can see what I was talking about. Or maybe that glitch was to save me. Because after that glitch happened and the game crashed, I still went with it. I didn't stream it. But when I went through that method and I died, I lost 30 hours of my progression of the game. Now look, I know challenges, right? Hold on, just stop. Calm down. I know how y'all feel, but I'm the one who experienced it. Y'all don't know how I'm feeling. I understand challenges. I understand the thrill of the chase, right? I understand that shit. But when you lose, when you die, you learn from your failure. I feel like it's a bitchy ass piece of shit, faggot ass move for you to lose everything that you worked for as well. It's like a punishment. You're punishing me by me dying. And then again, this is for the challenging people that loves a challenge. That should have been an optional choice. Or how about do this? Have that as an individual option. Like when you start a new game, or if you want to progress further into the game, they'll leave all our progressions alone and we can start very fresh by doing that run because they kind of did that. They put all of our progressions to the side. They made us play as the warden. So we literally had to start fresh. They gave us a new weapon that I think was pretty piece of shit. And we had to go with it by starting over when it comes to upgrading it when we go through these waves. But if you die, you don't just lose that, but you lose everything that you have worked for. And I'm saying this for crafting, and I'm saying this for Striking Distance Studios. I am one of the only people in this channel that is willing to admit that I have a limit of frustration when it comes to me being welcome a challenge, especially if the challenge is not reasonably executed. I don't give a fuck what people say. I don't. But all I'm saying is, if people spend that much hours playing any game and something like this happens and they lose all their shit, they not gonna start over. They not. Only way if they start over is if they are pushed to starting over. And I'm saying that because when that happened to me, I stopped playing it. Like, my depression kicked in, my anxiety kicked in, and I even deleted the game. Like, that was it for me. I was like, you know what? No. I have better things to do in my time. I have more things to review. I got more videos to post. Take my advice, crafting and Striking Distance. You can keep that on there, but make that as an option. So when we start the game, that can be for players to go through that route, not for people that want to play the game in normal mode and just keep enjoying the experience and keep learning. So then when we die, we don't have to worry about our shit being lost. Overall, this game was great. This game was fantastic. By those issues that I mentioned, please do not let that discourage you for enjoying this experience. This game is pretty fucking cheap. It's only $25. And honestly, I think it's kind of worth it if it was worth 30 or 40 bucks. Only thing that you should avoid is what I've said. If you're gonna play this game and if you want to play it in a fun, numeric aspect, then just stick to my advice and avoid that last conflict. You can collect everything, but I suggest you guys wait until Crafton patch this fucking game up, because you know what's worse? If you, especially for the challenging motherfuckers too, I wouldn't recommend playing this game in that mode, in the state that this game is in. If you play this game and the game crashes while you people are doing that mode, oh, y'all gonna be even more mad than me. So I was lucky that I died fairly. You know what I'm saying? So my advice to y'all is that just keep playing the game and keep enjoying the experience before y'all get welcome to any type of difficulties that will ruin that experience for you. And above all, you're still gonna die a lot no matter what you do. But just stick to the mechanics that I recommend, and then you will enjoy this game from start to finish. And I guarantee you, you will not put the controller down. Let me know in the comments what y'all guys think of this game if y'all already played it already. I'm gonna have to give Redacted a B-. Well, that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for my upcoming reviews and videos headed your way. This is Hugo, your critic teacher. And I hope you all have a good day.